I see it, man.
Spread out around the apartment complex, and
man, I seen one where about an hour ago they raided a motherfucking Hispanic nightclub in Chicago. They did.
JD, check and see if you can set up and see the other stairwell.
See, them folks, they setting that shit up, man. They ain't no fool. They know. Look at him. He tried to run. You see him try to run? They say, "Come here, motherfucker. You ain't going to work today."
While this was happening, the other teams across Houston made 2 more. 41-year-old Mexican national Alanis Manta, who's been convicted of trafficking cocaine.
Ooh, they is coming to get every motherfucker. If you driving while Hispanic, your ass is grass in the motherfucking snake.
Who's convicted of gross sexual imposition of a minor and was in the U.S. illegally.
You hear that, man? Grope, sickness of a minor.
President Trump's crackdown on illegal immigration is expanding. Not just ICE officers, but other federal law enforcement agencies sweeping across the country.
You can run, but you can't hide, motherfucker. They coming to get you, and his man name is the Ice Cream Man.
50 arrests.
Y'all see this shit, man. These folks is literally running around out here right now, and some people sleep, and some people think they safe for the mob.
Is that what you're hoping for? Look, we want to get as many criminals as possible.
Tom
Homan is Trump's
you see that motherfucker
tonight, overseeing a major enforcement operation, even as the
he said he was gonna start in Chicago, man.
Colombia's president.
And guess what he's doing? He started in Chicago.
Deportees writing on social media, a migrant is not a criminal and should be treated with the dignity a human being deserves. President Trump is now threatening Colombia with urgent and decisive retaliatory measures, slapping a 25% tariff on all Colombian goods coming to the U.S. and revoking the U.S. visas of Colombian government officials.
Oh, y'all got to go!
The country needs to take back their
Yeah, what he said.
The president's going to demand action. If they don't act, then there'll be consequences.
At the U.S. southern border, more troops arriving as ICE has arrested hundreds of undocumented immigrants nationwide.
Begin with this. ICE and the DEA raided a makeshift nightclub early this morning in Adams County that they say is run by members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. A total of 49 people were inside, and immigration officials say 40 were in the country illegally.
Them folks raid nightclubs, bars, and anything that's ran or owned by Hispanic folks, man. Look at this shit right here.
Latest on this investigation.
Look at this.
Kim, the DEA told me this months-long investigation into this Venezuelan gang TDA started during the Biden administration and carried over into Trump's. But despite this administration change, this operation was just normal business for the DEA.
I feel like the people in Denver metro area can wake up today and feel like they have a safer city to live in.
Dozens of people in handcuffs, surrounded by law enforcement in this morning's snowy conditions at a makeshift nightclub near Federal and 65th.
This nightclub only sets up on certain weekends, and it's invitation only to members of TDA and their associates. So they send out invite across social media.
The DEA says about 50 people who were in the country illegally were taken into custody, many connected to TDA.
We took people who were selling drugs. There was potential prostitution at the location. There was guns at the location. We know they're involved in much higher level drug trafficking, and a lot of them went to jail today.
DEA is reporting TDA activity across the Denver metro area.
In the beginning, I think a lot of the focus was on the folks in Aurora, especially after the videos that came out on the internet. They've moved around other places to kind of take some of the heat off themselves.
Those in custody could be seen bussed away from the location.
Man, you see, they got them folks on the Greyhound bus, man.
Normal course of business for DEA.
For motherfuckers that don't know what that is, that's called that motherfucking Greyhound.
In this case, they happened
without the dog on that motherfucker.
And our ICE friends took care of
them folks raided, they doing raids in Chicago, Tom Homan, the Borders Eye. It's in Chicago, and they going door to door, nightclub to nightclub. They going to get every undocumented person in Chicago tonight, man. That's what's going on. If you walking around in Chicago and you don't know that them folks is out there doing this all over Chicago.
Arrested so far, or in fact, how many locations
they is going hard in Chicago,
targeted today. But we are hearing of at least 2 buildings right here in Albany Park that appear to have been targeted by who residents believe were federal officials.
Ooh.
Just before
Look at them. They got the mask on.
officers with vests, identifying them as police, showed up at this floor flat on the 4800 block of North Central Avenue in Albany Park and began loudly knocking on everyone's doors. They left about 10 minutes later.
They went to a whole motherfucking apartment complex that's full with nothing but undocumented people and knocked on them doors and let them know, we be back to get you motherfuckers later on, man. We'll be back to get you later on. Them motherfuckers don't understand that it's time for your ass to get a free motherfucking plane ticket back to Guatemala or wherever the fuck you came from. It's a lot of motherfuckers that gonna walk up in Tyson Foods and them folk gonna say, shift change early, motherfucker. Your ass going in ice handcuffs. They gonna walk out the freezer into a motherfucking bus.
In fact, that we spoke to at that Albany Park apartment building telling us they don't know who among them the agents were after.
There's so many of them in this one building that they don't know who ICE was coming for. And as you can see, that motherfucker don't even speak English, so he gonna be the first motherfucker ICE snatch up and tell him, put your hands behind your back. I told you, man, the easiest way for them folks to go out there and get undocumented people is everybody in every state, no matter where you at, got an area that you call like Mexico City, foreign land. Nashville got one. Nashville got Dollarville Pike and Antioch, Tennessee that ain't full of nothing but undocumented people with everybody in the world motherfucking know it. Them folk will go down through there and stop at every motherfucking Thai shop and taco stand that's on Nullville Road and pick up 100,000 motherfuckers in a morning. The police could go down Nullville Road and sit in the middle of the motherfucking road and put a motherfucking roadblock up, and it'd be 100,000 motherfuckers in Nashville gone by morning, man. We all know it to be true, and that's the thing about it. This is not a surprise to people that have been living in America. America was built on using motherfuckers to build their country back good, and then when they didn't need it no more, they get rid of them. This ain't the first motherfucking time this happened. Motherfuckers just better wake up, man. I tell you this. And then it's the dumbest thing that I could ever see a motherfucker do. You got people that know that they undocumented
across the country. Our Sam Stark caught up with
participating in marches, knowing that the ICE agent could sign them.
The crowd in front of the
Look at
Texas
them.
State Capitol steadily grew as the afternoon went on.
That don't make no sense to me, man.
Protesters gathered to speak
He's
out against
enraged.
policies they fear could cause a spike in deportations for people living in the country illegally, including here in Texas.
Shit.
I fear that now
Texas.
will be targeted while
They gonna take every
play
man. If they was to go to fucking Texas,
Expressing an
I
increase
tell
in
you this.
anxiety.
If they go to Texas, California, Chicago ain't full of nothing but undocumented people. Tennessee, them motherfuckers, if you say a city, a state got a sanctuary city or a sanctuary state, that's where them folk gonna start their motherfucking immigration roundups at. They gonna start in the sanctuary city because they know all the undocumented people think that they gonna be able to flock to them cities and them states and hide out in churches and people's houses and shit, man. But if you don't know that it's against the motherfucking federal law for you to hide an undocumented person, man, you can face up to 10 years in federal prison for every undocumented person you got working for you, living in your house. Your ass going to jail, man. I ain't fighting for no motherfucker but my motherfuckers, man. I ain't finna go out there and protest for no motherfucker that we can't prove who he is, man. If you show me your social security number, I'll ride with you. If you can't show me what you did 30 years ago, I don't fuck with you and you shouldn't be fucking with me. I'm riding with they need to take every last one of them undocumented motherfuckers and put them on the Greyhound bus, man. That's my thing, man. And it might just be my opinion and in my opinion only, but shit. A lot of motherfuckers don't understand that there's a lot of people that been victimized, raped, robbed, killed by these little young gang motherfuckers that's running around in the street that's undocumented, man. Straight undocumented. Undocumented, it is a word that's meant for people to say, that motherfucker don't got no paperwork to show who they are or where they came from. That motherfucker that they call undocumented, meaning that you don't know if that motherfucker was a serial killer in his country or a serial rapist in his country. You don't got no proof to prove that that motherfucker name is Bob and not Hussein. You don't got no proof of that, man. You know, I know every undocumented person ain't bad, but when you watch the motherfucking news and every woman that done lost their life down there in 24 was raped and robbed and killed by a motherfucking undocumented person, then that make a motherfucker pay attention. That's why Trump won by a landslide, because Trump said, I'm going to get them motherfuckers up out of here. I'm going to take day one and sign every executive order to make sure every undocumented motherfucker pull that thing off their face. Show your face. Show your face, motherfucker, because you can't hide. It's hard to hide when the government of the United States, the place you're trying to hide in, is target your motherfucking kind, man. And they all went to the point where they ain't waiting for Homeland Security, ICE, or the police to do their job. They offering $1,500 if you tell them where an undocumented motherfucker at, man. It's going to be a lot of motherfuckers that going to get their income tax early, because they going to turn in every motherfucker in their neighborhood, every motherfucker at their job. Them motherfuckers, it's going to be some motherfuckers that's going to be riding around following work trucks to work site just so they can call ICE and say, I got 30 of them, man. Bring my motherfucking money to me so I can get you some more motherfuckers. There's some motherfuckers out in the world that's going to abuse that ICE hotline to the point where the ICE going to have to give them motherfuckers their own personal number, man. Because them folk going to be out there playing tag you it, and they going to be trying to get their bag, man. You can talk your ass off and cry and scream and go out there and protest, but you going to end up in handcuffs like that motherfucker. Them folk don't give a fuck if you 6 years old or 60 or 80 years old in a wheelchair. Them motherfuckers coming with a car seat to put your bambinos in, man. Them motherfuckers told you folks, I don't understand. If them folk would have warned black folk that slavery was on this way, I think we would have ran away from that situation. These folks literally sounding the horn, warning you motherfuckers that you need to self-deportate, or we gonna come drag you at your job, and then we're gonna go to your school, drag your babies out of daycare, drag your grandmama out the nursing home. We ain't paying for none of that shit no more. If your grandmama is an undocumented person and she in a nursing home in America, them folks finna go get her ass up at that motherfucker and put her on a plane and send her to Guatemala, man. They said, Trump said he's not letting America pay for another person's fuck up and disgust. Because a lot of people don't know this, man. When the Democrats got control of the United States, they opened up the motherfucking floodgate for every undocumented person around the world. They had a saying that was going around on the BBC News. That motherfucker said, if you're running from something and you want to start a new life and get a new identity, run to America. They'll give you all that shit and more, man. Them folks been laughing at people around America in every country, because them folks made a joke of us, man. They said, y'all want to holler out, what about the crime? What about this? What about that? But what about you motherfuckers just open y'all door up to any and every motherfucker, man? Y'all let any and every motherfucker come in y'all country and y'all don't even know who the fuck they is. There's a lot of companies, a lot of countries like England and London. London, them folks don't let undocumented people come into their country. They don't let no one that's not from their country come to their country because they know the problems when it comes to the Trojan horse theory. And for the people that don't know about the Trojan horse, if you let enough of the enemies into a situation where they can build up an army, they can take down your country, man. It's been done before, way before this shit. This was done back in the Roman days, how people took away from kingdoms. And I tell people, man, sometimes you got to just roll with the punch and know that if it gets better, it gets better, but if it gets worse, it gets worse. But I think that when them folk go out there, you got motherfucking Dr. Phil out here in Chicago in the cold tonight, walking around like they dog the bounty hunter, knocking on people's doors, man. You folk can't hide, man. They going to schools, college campuses. If you got a work visa, a school visa, if you came over here and they know you here and your paperwork on ran out and you thinking just because you don't marry an American, you safe, that ain't true, man. Go talk to your immigration lawyer because your immigration lawyer going to tell you should be trying to find you somewhere to hide. And I'll tell you something that I predict that a lot of people ain't talking about. But I watched this documentary about the Constitution and about, how people was been done wrong by America, like you had Black Wall Street was took over by the United States when they felt that the black people was going to do more and make more money than the white stock market. So I started doing a little research about all these immigration takedowns and what do immigration laws mean and what do rules when it comes to banks and federal laws. I always wondered why Bank of America was the only bank that let undocumented people without a social security number, put all their life savings in checks, and Bank of America let them folk buy homes. When in actuality, by law, federal law, can't no undocumented person enter into a contract buying American soil without first going through the proper procedures of becoming an American citizen. People don't know this, but people that live in other countries that own American soil have to register with the United States government to let them know that they own land in America. So then I started doing a little bit more research and I found out that these folks are seizing properties and homes that's owned by undocumented people because guess what? Any contract that you entered with a bank is voided because you broke the law, they broke the law, you broke the law. But you the one gonna lose because when you get sent back to the country that you came from, where they ain't even got motherfucking ATMs or Venmo, and Bank of America, which the federal government put a seize on your bank accounts because they gonna say you can't prove who you is and you can't prove that you made that money. You can't prove you made that money. Okay, you say you got a check stub. That check stub got a name on it that ain't even yours. Because they found out what your real name is now. Them folks is running around out there playing tag you hit in Chicago, man. If you're an undocumented person and you living in any state in the United States, it's just a matter of time before you be bent over in handcuffs, man. Them folks said they don't give a fuck if you 8 to 80. They said they going to get motherfuckers on college campuses, high school, middle school, elementary schools. Trump signed an executive order giving the ICE agents the right to go up in a school and get the undocumented child and then go get their mom and daddy, man. Trump said we're not going to separate the families. We're going to take them all together and ship them back. Because you got to think a lot of people sit back and they came up with a plan to get into America. if you watch a lot of them refugees when they walking 300-400 miles crossing over rivers and lakes, most of them got 2-3 little bambinos in their arm and she pregnant. Because they heard the story of the woman that got on American soil and dropped the baby and got birthright citizens. Both of them became citizens because the mother got to stay in the country 18 years to raise that child. They came up with actual law. So then you had so many undocumented people either try to make it to America with a baby in their tummy or get over here and couldn't wait to make 1,000 of them babies. That's why you got so many Hispanics that got 30, 40 babies and they all look like stepping stones because they are actually calculating the years and time that they can stay. They know if they have a baby this year, they set for 18 more years. Have one again next year, that 18 years old start all over like they playing. You ever seen that movie with Justin Timberlake, Time, where them folks know that every time they have a brand new baby, they get to restart their time all over again. And, you know, people finally realized and woke up and said, no, man, no. Y'all Democrats need to go back where y'all came and sit back down and let us take America back. Let us tell all these people in the world that have been screaming out that people, undocumented people, took their jobs, changed their living situations. We're going to get that back to you and see if you really talk that shit or walk that shit, man. And I hope that all these people out in the world that have been screaming that they can't find no job because undocumented people took their job. You could have plenty of jobs. Plenty of jobs are coming open, man. Them folk could pull up to McDonald's in any shift, KFC or Taco Bell, and I guarantee you over 80% of the people in McDonald's are undocumented. Guarantee you, man. You could pull up to a warehouse, a meat packing warehouse, or like this place right here, this was a seafood depot. They pulled up at that motherfucker and went in there soon they opened up and arrested everybody all the way from the cook to the busboy to the chef. They did that shit, man. And they're going to do that to a lot of people. They're going to come up, you're going to be sitting there being a waitress in IHOP or Appleback or something, and somebody going to tell you, Miss, can I get a bottle of water when you come over? He gonna slap that handcuff on you and tell you to turn your ass around. You going to jail. That's crazy. You going to jail. And I tell you this, people don't know this in Tennessee, and I didn't know this till yesterday. In Tennessee, they passed a new law that you cannot possess your driving license. If you got a driving license in Tennessee, you're an undocumented person. That motherfucker ain't worth the paper it was wrote on. It ain't worth the paper it was wrote on, man. That's the new Tennessee law. You better search it. Every undocumented person in Nashville that you look on, if you look at Davidson County Jail.com, every undocumented person on there got a driving violation and being held for ICE. Real shit.